All right, everyone, welcome to Tarqaron. We're back with more Survivor. That's right, Alec. It's gonna be
I don't know.
great.
I was trying to do something there. I
Uh,
don't know what, but yeah. Let's do this, man. Let's talk about Survivor, the
the
Amazon.
Amazon. So we've done this for
Yeah.
every season in the past. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. We've also done reactions talking about every individual episode for Thailand and the Amazon. So we're taking Alec on a journey through the seasons chronologically. I'm a big Survivor fan, so I'm acting as his guide here.
You're my Sherpa. You're my Jeff Probst.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna go through how the season went down. We're gonna go through some trivia. We're gonna do Survivor superlatives. We didn't get many questions, but there are like a couple we can get to.
Okay.
But and then we'll just talk about our thoughts on the season overall. Mostly get Alex's insight into where Survivor's at now.
Yeah.
All right.
All the rankings and everything. We gotta figure all that out.
But first, before we start, I want to get your reaction to this. I'm gonna send you a link.
Hmm.
Just something I want you to see. May come as a shock. May come as a shock to you.
Uh-oh.
But I'm interested to see your reaction here. We'll go into. There's multiple tabs. It's like a Google Sheets,
Okay.
but just stay on the first one for now.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna be shocked by. Like, what's going on?
Okay.
Wow.
So what you're seeing here.
Wow.
Here, click on sheet 2.
Okay. Wow. Really?
The chocolate and peanut butter incident inspired this Jenna Heidi Playboy spread. Survivors Jenna and Heidi, their clothes got voted off.
My, what a page.
Yeah.
What a wow.
I just
That's
thought
surprise. That is really honestly surprising to me.
yeah, thought it was worth mentioning.
You might make me blush a little bit. Wow.
There's a few sheets in here.
There's a few oh man.
So go ahead, click 3.
Okay.
There
Dang.
it is.
Well, I mean, I guess they were willing to do it for chocolate and peanut butter. I guess they
But it
might
was
as well do it
censored
for
there.
yeah. Well, I guess they might as well do it for money. So there's 3.
She's 4.
Wha- We can't show this on
Can't
YouTube.
show it, but it'll be censored maybe. There's 5.
Or like, yeah, you have to censor like the whole page. Wow. 5. Whoa. Okay.
There's 6. Just put a bunch on there.
Triple all right in a row.
7.
I guess they were really close. You could say.
Yeah. 8. And then this last one, click this last one, you'll
Yeah.
see none other than Clay Jordan from Survivor Thailand holding up the spread.
Why? Why?
Getty Images.
So that was the. Oh my gosh.
So they had
There he is.
They have like events, like reality events every now and then.
I guess he was a happy guy. I guess. Wow.
All right. Well, there's that.
Wow.
So
That's
I
wow.
didn't want you to
Okay
go look
then.
up anything, so I put every image.
No.
in there.
Well, hey, I've been told to not look up anything about anything.
Yeah, I know.
So
But if I showed you just
I'm
one
not
image,
gonna look
you
up
might
anything
go
about
look them all
anything.
up. So I gave all of them to you.
well, that was a shock.
Yeah.
You're right. That was a little shocking. That wasn't what I expected.
There's that. All right. Well, stay tuned for the cutie of the season award later.
Yeah, I wonder who I'm gonna pick.
All right. So the season started split on gender lines. Tamaki versus Jabiru, men versus women. From the beginning, they were throwing in both of them talking about stereotypes on both sides, and men were very confident, and then the women beat them the first challenge,
Yes.
and then that set up the narrative from the beginning.
A crazy, embarrassing first challenge.
Yeah.
It was
Which resulted in Ryan getting voted out somehow.
somehow.
Which, I mean, it's an interesting dynamic when you have all men, all women. You're going to get some people voted out that normally might not have been voted out in mixed tribes.
It's true, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like you always say, it comes down to the who pissed off who first in the
It doesn't take
for the
much.
first week.
It doesn't take
No,
much in the beginning. It's a very dicey time. You can be
no,
weird. You can be a little bad in challenges. You can be a little old. You know, it's
you could
like
be
whatever.
a threat. You could be a physical threat.
You can be
Jake.
too bossy.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to deal with that. Then we had Janet with the infamous granola gate.
Candy gate, candy bar, granola bar.
You rarely go a season without a gate happening.
Yeah, I know.
Granola bar. I mean, Jean was adamant that she saw it the day before sitting in her bag. So
Yeah.
who knows? But
So
Janet denies it
yeah,
fervently.
yeah. I don't know, man. It's a weird scenario. Who planted the bar? We'll never know. In fact, I guess we do. We don't know.
We don't know. No closure
So
on that. Just like with Kel and Australian Outback, no closure for that.
jerky, beef jerky,
Yeah, jerky gate.
jerky gate.
So then we had Joanna voted out, who was the idol. She was not about the idol's life, and she came on to Survivor willingly.
Yeah, that was very strange. When
Like,
she was talking about
that's
how it's like, I think, I don't know. She's a little out there in terms of some of the things she touted that she believed.
she had a good start, but then it's just like that kind of behavior is very off-putting naturally in a group setting, and then just it's weird to go on Survivor and not want to touch an idol when that's like it's what you covet, as Jeff Probst says. You covet it.
Oh, goodness me.
Come on. After this point is when they do the summit, the classic, iconic, hot young people summit, where they did a draft pick.
Yeah, where they're like, all right, pick the two youngest folks, and they're gonna go for no other reason.
Young.
Yeah, for no other reason.
Then they went and picked their tribes, where Jenna spilled all the information, which is Jenna's immediately establishing her dominance as what will be the future winner of the season, spilling all the information,
Spilling the beans. Yeah, clearly planned it.
Jean gets voted out at that point, and then next vote is Shana, which was the classic. She was falling apart, and then she got to turn around when Alex came in the swap, but it was a little too late. And she just went. So I mean, we haven't quite seen a storyline like that yet. We usually see there's almost always someone who's just sick and like adds nothing to a season in the beginning almost. Or it's just kind of like they come, they get sick, and they're like, oh, I can't actually do this. But Shauna had a turnaround. But then we didn't get much payoff for it. You know, it got one episode. Got the nice shot of Matt laying on Shauna, laying on Alex, which is nice.
Which is again very weird.
But
the weird gender dynamics of the season, you know.
Yeah, I feel like we got more out of her than we do most of those kinds of.
Most of the sick folk, yeah, that's true.
And then came the merge. She just missed the merge where they became Jack O'Ray, and then Roger was the one voted out right before the jury, which made sense. Heidi, I think it was mainly Heidi that made a good point where you can't have him on the jury. He's not going to vote for a woman in the end. Yeah,
because he was very like anti. Oh, we can't have any women.
Yeah, he's all about the
anti-women. Yeah, all about the boys.
Which is at this point, is a very pivotal, one of the pivotal moments where the guys could have just stuck all guys, you know?
Yeah.
And just one woman at a time, and it would have been looking at a much less exciting season.
Yeah.
But luckily we had some people willing to play and move around, so...
It was, it's interesting, because it seemed like Roger just didn't think that the fact that men and women tend to get along pretty well with each other, especially when you've been starved for their company, especially younger men and women. It's like he didn't even like think about, because he said like how confident he was that he wasn't. Oh, I would have tried harder on the challenge if I knew I wasn't getting voted out. And it was like, what?
And he's talking about it almost seems too easy. You just vote out the women and just take it from here.
Yeah,
but that's the problem. We've also encountered this type of player a lot too, where they're just they're set in their ways. They're not gonna these characters aren't going to win the game because they're not willing to play the
Yeah,
game too
that's
much.
that's right. You can't be so stuck in an ideological thinking of how to play the game. You gotta move and ebb and flow with the way things go.
Hmm. Like, I
So
imagine if they had mixed men and women, like I feel like Roger on any season is gonna have a hard time in the beginning, especially if like he's not willing to work with women in that in that way.
yeah.
So it's like,
Well, I mean, like I don't know if some of that was just because it's like man versus woman. Like some of that
yeah,
might have been from that.
but that's
But I
almost
mean,
like
he
his
does have a
best case
very
scenario too, is to be with
yeah.
all the
Well,
men.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that he's very like overly he was kind of overly. I mean, this is what we got from the editing and everything, but he was very overly bossy to the point where it's like, yes, we understand we need to work. You don't need to be like getting on our case day and night about it,
Hmm.
or like asking someone to do something and then just like leaving awkwardly and being like, you know what, forget it, I'll do it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Rogers showed an inability to really mesh with multiple different personalities
I was
too.
gonna
You
say
know, from the
play
kung fu
d-
chop. You
does
know,
not play does not play well with others.
the
So
homophobia conversation was also a thing.
yeah,
Rob said in the confessional, Roger's a bigot.
yeah, he just like straight up. Yeah.
So it's like that. It's really hard for that, a person like that to make it far
Yeah.
because you have to have really good people skills generally to have success in the game. So then we had Dave voted out, first member of the jury, rocket scientist. You didn't get too much from Dave. He's just kind of the typical, hey, I'm the man. I'm the man. I'm an athletic dude, so I'm just gonna get targeted. I'm not
I,
gonna be able to do much about it.
that was even one of the notes I wrote. I said Dave thinks he is the man.
Yeah, yeah. Bangarang.
Bangarang.
And we had Dina, who was coming on really strong. She
Yeah.
was a really strong character in the first half of the season for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I would like Dino a lot. She seemed
Yeah,
like she might have what it takes
yeah, she's
to go pretty
one
far.
of the ones willing to shake it up and actually play the game hard, very strategical mind, you know,
Mm.
which is a good thing about Survivor casts. You get a variety of different personalities from the people like Dina and Rob who are very strategic, and then you have people like Roger set in their ways, and then you have people that are just social. So it's a good
It was just kind of
mix.
along for the ride type of thing. Like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm just here.
but Dina was great, but ultimately was too confident, which is a theme we see from that point on,
Yeah.
pretty much. Christy or Alex is next. He was too set in his. That was the most pivotal moment of the season where they were so confident they were just going to ride it out to the end, the final four.
He's like, "Hey
And
Rob,
it's
we're gonna vote you out." And it's like Rob's like, no."
like I just expect that if you win immunity, you vote me out. If I win immunity, I'll vote you out because Heidi and Jen are never going to turn on each other. So
Yeah.
then Rob took that opportunity and completely flipped the game upside down.
Yeah.
And yet
Big
we
time.
still end up with Jenna as the winner, which is interesting
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
end. Even though it was like she was in a really tough spot where it's like, oh, there's no hope for us now.
Mm.
Christy voted out next when she thinks she's in the driver's seat. She kind of was. She just needed to be decisive, and she would have been fine.
Yeah, she kind of was, but she drove very passively. She just drove in the slow lane and
Mm-hmm.
needed to take an exit, but she couldn't make up her mind, so she missed it.
Mm-hmm. Just so much hubris this season.
Yeah.
You let the power get to their heads too much.
Mm. Yeah,
Heidi is voted out. What's
because
that?
Dina did too. Dina said like, "I was like, I hold the power" in some of the confessionals,
Yeah,
where she was
and it was
basically
like
like,
the episode she was voted out. She was talking about that.
"Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah." Heidi,
Heidi gets voted out. This is the point that decides the winner, essentially. Or they could vote out Jenna as a sympathy vote because she clearly doesn't want to be there.
she was ill.
And
She was not.
she's falling apart.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, no, logically, let's vote out Heidi because she's going to be stronger
Yep.
and she wants to play the game. But Jenna wins anyway. So that's interesting where so many of these pivotal moments end up
Mm.
being nullified by the fact that in the end Jenna wins her way to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Butch gets voted out very unceremoniously. He's just kind of the friendly guy around camp collecting firewood to the end. He does make a couple plays at the end there to try to keep himself in, but it doesn't work out.
Yeah, including burning the camp down.
Yeah, and Matt also helped Rob in that scenario where Bush got voted out. You know, he was
Yeah,
rallying for him.
yeah.
But we come down to the final three, which is Jenna, Matt, and Rob. Both Jenna
Mm-hmm.
and Matt are kind of the ones that were brought along. Matt definitely brought along by Rob at points, and
Yeah.
Jenna in some ways brought along by Rob because he didn't vote her out at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But all it takes is Jenna wins the
Because
immunity and
yeah,
takes him out right there.
twice in a row she won immunity.
Yeah, so it's really weird narratively.
Yeah.
Because she wins from an underdog position, yet she is the opposite position, the top dog for 90% of the season. You know, in this
Yeah.
comfortable position. But then as soon as she's down, she makes it by a couple votes, and then she just wins her way to the end. Even when she was saying like, "I'm fine with getting voted out now. Honestly, I don't want to be here,"
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. It was yeah, kind of weird. It was just like because she played. I mean, she was obviously a very social person, but she played a kind of passive role in terms of playing the game. It seemed, at least from what we were shown, and it's kind of like a it's weird. It's a weird feeling because like most of the season was just so wonderful, entertaining, and I would even say even through the final episode, it was just spectacularly entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
very exciting up to the very end. But when you look back on the season as a whole, you can't help but feel like it was all building up, and it was kind of like and it didn't really quite
Yeah.
cross the finish line, in like a huge triumphant way, and at least in terms of that narrative. And I mean, I think that's just kind of the nature of how Survivor goes sometimes. It's
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna stuff like that's gonna happen because there's things you just can't predict
Yeah, and you
in
can't
terms of how it goes.
you can't always frame it around the winner because
Yeah,
we have a passive winner, so it doesn't make sense
right,
to be shown from her perspective most of the time. It's Dina
right.
and Rob are in control most of the time,
Yeah,
so we see a lot from them.
yeah.
But then Jenna wins 6-1. It's the most
Hmm.
dominant final vote yet. Butch only votes for Matt because he worked hard around camp.
It was
But
like, yeah, he worked out around camp, man. What a hard worker.
hard worker. Jenna really didn't, but it's just so interesting to see the one who Jeff Probst called a spoiled brat in the reunion show.
Yeah.
He's the winner. The big moments are the chocolate and peanut butter moment, which is just
Well, I
remembering
guess
history.
apparently it is a pretty big moment.
Made an impact enough to get a Playboy cover, Playboy spread.
Centerfold, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Rob is also known as for just controlling most of the season too.
Mm,
For a strategic mind, like the season's significantly worsened if Rob isn't there for sure.
mm.
So, are there any thoughts overall before we get into trivia and questions and stuff that you have on the season as a whole?
I was very pleased with the season. You tell the pitch from the get go. It sounds, ooh, we're gonna have some fun, sexy tension, because it's like men versus women. They're like, so they're gonna play that angle up, I'm sure, but we're also gonna play up the anything you can do, I can do better sort of angle.
Yeah.
And that both of those aspects leads to very entertaining television and just in general. Sex sells, but so does like fierce competition. And you knew you were going to get like just tons of that, and you did,
Yeah.
So overall, it was very satisfying in that regard. I think because you had more than one person who was there to play the game and play it strategically and act as a sort of mastermind of sorts. you have Dina on the girl's side, and you have Rob on the guy's side, and seeing them all interact, after a certain period, they, that we said that they sort of swapped teams around a little bit. Um, all of that sort of building up, helping alliances form. It was just very engaging from beginning to end. There really wasn't an episode where I was like, wow, this episode wasn't as good as the other ones. It was just exciting the whole time. Sometimes it's like the votes you saw coming, but other times it was like, wow, yeah, there were numerous episodes where I was like, wow, I was surprised about that one. A great season. This is one of my favorite seasons, easily.
Yeah. So
far.
We'll get into the.
We'll get into that
do
later.
a season ranking and a winner ranking at the end
Yeah.
here. We have questions only from Chase this time. Chase is the one guy who showed up for questions.
Okay. Well, all right.
Thank you, Chase.
We posted we posted a YouTube video, right?
Yep.
Did we try the subreddit?
Yep.
Oh. Well, at least we have somebody contributing. So thank you, Chase.
Chase, he says, Alec, who is a better player, Rob C. or Richard Hatch?
Oh man. I think you have to give it to Richard Hatch because he won.
But also,
yeah. But I mean, that's actually kind of tough because here's the thing. Richard Hatch was able to do something. He was able to kind of mastermind this whole thing without any precedent ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to do that, and he didn't really make any missteps. I felt like Rob, as spectacular and as entertaining of a player as he was to watch the whole time, did make a couple of missteps here and there, where I was like, uh-oh, Rob's on the chopping block this time. But he somehow was always able to kind of finagle his way out of it.
Yeah.
So...
And it's like,
yeah.
It's also the question of how much credit do you give, how much does like Richard Hatch godfathering the game, basically being the godfather of Survivor, how much does that override like gameplay afterwards? Because it's just, then you can always point back to being like, well, they wouldn't be able to do that if Richard Hatch never did this to begin with. But it's also like, you could say, well, they're doing that in a time where everybody is aware of how strategy works now.
Yeah.
Whereas like Richard Hatch was one of the few people thinking in that way in his season.
Yeah, because because that was basically just an experiment.
Yeah.
More or less, it was a big TV experiment. More or less.
No, it's like every season since has been able to build on the last one.
Yeah. So it's always tough to kind of say that. I think I would still edge Richard Hatch just in the sense that, like, again, it's with the missteps. I think. But very entertaining player. I would almost say more entertaining to watch than Richard Hatch. But yeah.
Interesting. So how do you think the season would have changed if Dina did not target Alex at the final 8?
Whew. Well, I think that alliance would have stayed stronger longer. I don't know if it could have stayed the whole time through. I definitely think I think Dina would have lasted quite a bit longer. I don't know if, and that's the thing. It's hard to say because we didn't necessarily know, at least not to my recollection. We didn't necessarily know what Rob was thinking in terms of order, like what he kind of was wanting to do in terms of, or he was wanting to plan things out. He had Matt under his wing. Via Matt, he kind of had Butch. But he and Dina seemed to be like a really strong duo, and it was really after she was gone, he was kind of making himself seem like he was everybody's duo, basically.
Yeah.
So tough to say. He might have been protected a little bit from her too. I don't know. It's sort of hard to say because he definitely came under fire because he basically was like, yeah. Ultimately, it had to come to a point where he was like, yeah, I've been lying and cheating in this game. So is everybody.
Yeah, definitely could have been interesting, like either for Dina or Rob, because they could have kept that that secret partnership that no one really knew about going on.
Yeah.
It's hard to say how they would navigate the others, though.
Yeah.
You still have the tight bonds there. All right. Do you miss Rosie O'Donnell's reunion show?
Not one bit.
Come on, Rosie O'Donnell came in on Colby's back on a motorcycle.
That was the dumbest thing.
It felt off. It felt off. It's good to have
Yeah,
Jeff there.
the whole thing felt horrible. It didn't just feel off. It felt like this is the worst. Like we got bottom of the barrel morning talk show. Did she have a morning show? Was that Rosie or was it afternoon?
No idea.
I felt like she was competing with Oprah or something. I don't know. I was like, just watch Oprah. You get less like annoying out of it. I don't know. I don't know when she aired. I don't know if she was competing with Oprah or whatever Regis and Kelly.
Lastly, just insult Roger a little more, he said.
Insult Roger a little more?
Yeah.
You got Kung Fu Chop.
Yeah, that guy sucks, dude. Shoot.
Oh yeah. He's not a very nice. He's not. He does not come across a very nice person. Maybe in real life. He's really really nice. But yeah, wow, what a jerk.
I mean, he was fine. He was good with Christy though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was nice. That was heartwarming. A heartwarming moment.
But he never worked for her or vote for her in office. That's for sure. All right. We got a couple of trivia, not as much as before. I mean, it makes sense as seasons go on. You'd have less and less firsts happening as well.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's obviously the gender split tribes is a big thing. It's the first time they did that. They faked it out in Thailand and then actually did it here.
Yeah.
This was the first. Christy was the first reality star with a disability. Just in general, apparently, the first reality star.
Wow.
Which
awesome.
is interesting. I know in Big Brother season 1 they had a handicapped guy, but it's not the same. But it had he was in a wheelchair, I think.
Okay.
And that was earlier, but first one with a disability. The first time that all the contestants received votes against them throughout the season at some point.
Really?
Or previously you had people like Brian who didn't get voted at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had more cases. I guess Vesepi didn't get voted at all. I guess all the
Oh yeah, I guess
all the winners then.
Sense. Yeah, Vesepi I didn't, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the first time immunity was given up by Jenna, which was another brilliant move by our winner. The first season in which a begonging does not occur post-merge. I talked about begonging before, which is basically where one tribe just systematically goes through the other tribe after one. I didn't realize this was the first one to not do that at all, really. Which I think is a testament to why it was more entertaining to watch than most of them. Because
that's true.
It wasn't just predictable the whole way through. It was very the opposite of that.
It felt a lot more organic because the relationships did like a huge amount to sort of help. It played into the strategy more, I almost feel, this season than it did in any other season.
Yeah.
The gender dynamics and everything, I think all of that fed into the strategy, and I think that's I mean,
it was much more fluid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any moment like in Survivor Thailand where it's like, all right, we have to sit through these next couple votes because we know who they're going to be, and then we had to wait until like the final 5 before there was just all the tribe was left and they had to turn on each other.
Exactly, with that one, there were 2 whole episodes where it was just like, all right, we got to drum up fake drama. Think, maybe they're going to vote this person out because he was annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting sick and tired of him being here. And then it was just like, okay, and then and then it's like the normal, what we expected.
All right, it's time to go into Survivor Superlatives.
Okay.
Where Alec will give out awards. We'll do some season rankings as we've been doing it every season as we go along. And we'll do winner rankings as well. So for your Alec's favorite player award, who is it?
My favorite player in this game, was Rob. Easily. Yeah.
That's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other honorable mentions?
I like I said, I really like Dina. I thought she was very thoughtful. Matt did have a big glow up in this. Like I said, he was sort of brought along, but he was finally start to think strategically about the game, like maybe like partway through after the merge. It was
Yeah.
like then he's actually starting to think about this sort of stuff. So it's like, wow, good for him. But
All right.
yeah,
And then the cutie of the season,
Jenna
Jenna.
in a heartbeat. Oh yeah,
Any honorable mentions?
Heidi.
Heidi.
I
Wow.
mean, I'm not saying that because of that. I would have said that anyways.
Yeah.
Oh well, also Shana.
Shauna.
Shana, it was.
I think Christy's underrated as well.
Yeah, they're both they were both what I would consider cute as a button.
Yeah. Might I add? All right, and then we already kind of gave this award, but for the best intro shot, for Shauna.
Oh, Shana, easy, yeah.
We
And she had the only one that was kind of interesting. Roger was just like doing like.
We might need to go back and retroactively award the first 5 seasons intro shots.
We should do that, yeah.
I knew the one was in the first one it was Kelly Wigglesworth. I remember there was a dramatic eye shot.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to
It was
think
just like.
of any other... I can't
Yeah, it was
remember
like
anyone offhand.
something like that. It like
Yeah.
did like a huge focus on the eye. Yeah.
All right, now it's time for some rankings. Where would you place this season? Let me tell you how you have them ranked so far.
Okay, I might actually change this around a little bit too.
Oh no.
Oh, I mean, whatever. Who cares?
You have Australian Outback.
Things change over time.
Australian Outback,
Mm-hmm.
Borneo, Marquesas, Africa, Thailand.
No, I think that about stays the same. The reason I'll explain it in case somebody might be wondering. It's like, oh, why do you like the Outback more than Borneo? And it's just because like I really liked that season's sort of more focus on the harshness of the environment they were in. Like the tribe really went through a lot, especially after I can't remember his name, but he get his hands horribly burned.
Mike Scoopin.
Mike, yeah, and that was just like that was like a really like gut wrenching episode. It was just like, oh, this is. I mean, he's not like life threatening, but it's like that's a pretty scary and serious thing to have happen where he has to get hella backed out of there, But yeah, I really liked that whole aspect of the season. I thought it did a really fascinating and interesting work with sort of that. And I thought that was very entertaining. This season, Amazon, I think, is probably going to be my new favorite.
New favorite.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think that one's number one. I love this season. It was like I said, there wasn't really a down episode for me, even up to the end. So we went from the worst ranked season to the highest ranked season right there. I mean, yeah,
That's
it was.
survivable for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. The last season was just super dull. So.
All right. My ranking from before was Borneo, Marquesas, Australian Outback, Africa, Thailand. So I'd say probably that would be number 1 too. The only reason I would question that is because of how it ended. I feel like a narrative helps. Like if you look at Borneo's
got an amazing narrative.
You have Richard Hatch from beginning to end, and there's a satisfying payoff because you see it wasn't easy at the end. It was a 4-3 vote, and you see how much people disagreed, and it was a very divisive end there. But this one is just kind of
big time.
The player we're following the whole time just gets cut short, and then the two people that have been the most passive just kind of there.
Yeah.
That's why it would potentially be number 2, but for now I'd say number 1. All right, now how about the winners? In terms of the best winners, you have Richard Hatch, Vesepia, Brian, Tina, Ethan. Where's Jenna going?
I think she's going last.
Last place for Jenna.
I think she might be, yeah.
I'd say so, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she's a very entertaining player, for sure. I mean, when we go to the Cutie Award, we're going to find out where she gets ranked there.
We already did the Cutie Award.
We don't rank those?
Oh, we have never ranked those.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe that's probably a good thing that we don't rank those.
Yeah.
She would be number one. But but yeah, yeah, I mean, it's just again, it's the whole like lack of a narrative thing. She didn't really seem to have a strategy, and a lot of her voting came across as like that person betrayed me. I don't like them now.
Hmm.
Let's vote against them. And it was just like that's not a strategy. I mean, it's like it's understandable to feel betrayed, and like and you can use that as like a rallying for playing the game harder and maybe punishing that person for backstabbing you. But then she never did.
Hmm.
It's like Rob backstabbed us, and then just like, kept Rob around for like most of the
But
time.
she got the last laugh there.
She did. She ultimately did.
So, yeah, I would definitely say she's last. She had the least agency of any winner by far.
Yeah. Yeah.
She had like the least established strategy from the beginning, and the fact I think it's all pretty inexcusable that she literally wanted to quit the game towards the end. So it's like
Yeah.
that's the winner. Is
Yeah.
she was would be fine with being voted out at final five, whatever
Or
five when
four. Just
Heidi
final
was
four.
voted out.
Oh yeah,
She
yeah, yeah.
would have
Even
been
then
fine.
she was saying, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like yeah, and she also gave up immunity, which makes no strategic sense whatsoever. If they were actually voting Heidi out, she was going out that time instead. So she
Yeah.
made a lot of times where it's not the best interest of herself.
Bizarre decision. Yeah. Bizarre decisions. Yeah, for sure.
So there you have it, season 6, the Amazon, the best season so far, the worst winner so far.
Yeah, which is polarizing, but also the cutest of the cuties.
The
So far.
cutest, the cutest season so far. All right, and stay tuned. Coming soon, Pearl Islands. It's the next season on the horizon.
We're really emphasizing the whole pirates thing. This
Pirates.
was, of course, yeah. This was, of course, summer after. Oh, I'll have to look. You will need to tell me when it aired. I'm not looking it up, but the because it seems like this is hot on Pirates of the Caribbean fever,
Hmm.
maybe a little bit.
I don't know. This year was or Amazon was like 2004 or 2003. So
Yeah, so I mean, it's still sort of capitalizing on Pirates fever because that was a movie that had legs. It got really popular in the years
yeah, I didn't know
post
what year it
its
came out. So
2003.
okay, all right. Well, that's it. What a
Yeah,
wonderful time we've had.
yeah, it was great. A lot of
180
fun.
from Thailand to now.
Boom.
So it's like that shows you like we've done 2 reaction series so far, and we've experienced the low, we've experienced the high.
Yeah,
And that Survivor, it just comes down to the cast ultimately, and like
big time.
how much they're willing to do crazy stuff and bring some interesting strategy to the table. And
Mm.
then we have Jenna, of course, best winner. All right. So see you when we start Pearl Islands. See you then.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Big time.